Hello everyone, welcome back to Essay Academy. Today we'll explore one of George Bernard Shaw's most popular plays, Pygmalion. In this video, you'll find 50 important questions and answers explained in a clear and simple way, perfect for high school exams and literature lovers. So, let's get started.
Who is the author of Pygmalion?
The author of Pygmalion is George Bernard Shaw, an Irish playwright, critic and social reformer.
When was Pygmalion first performed?
Pygmalion was first performed in 1913 in Vienna and later in London in 1940.
What is the meaning of the title Pygmalion?
The title refers to a Greek myth about a sculptor named Pygmalion who fell in love with a statue he created. Shaw uses this idea symbolically. Professor Higgins creates a new woman out of Eliza Doolittle.
Who is the main female character in Pygmalion?
The main female character is Eliza Doolittle, a poor flower girl who speaks in a Cockney accent.
Who is Professor Henry Higgins?
Professor Henry Higgins is a phonetics expert who studies speech sounds and accents. He believes he can transform Eliza into a lady by teaching her proper English.
What is Colonel Pickering's role in the play?
Colonel Pickering is a fellow linguist and a kind, gentlemanly man. He treats Eliza with respect and helps Higgins with the experiment.
What challenge does Higgins accept about Eliza?
Higgins bets that he can teach Eliza to speak and behave like a duchess within 6 months.
Where does the play begin?
The play begins outside Covent Garden Theatre in London, where people are taking shelter from the rain.
What is Eliza selling in the first scene?
Eliza is selling flowers, and she is called a flower girl.
How does Higgins first meet Eliza?
Higgins meets Eliza at Covent Garden when he notes her speech patterns while writing down phonetic notes.
Why does Eliza visit Higgins' house?
Eliza visits Higgins' house because she wants to take speech lessons so she can get a better job in a flower shop.
What motivates Higgins to help Eliza?
Higgins is motivated by his love for phonetics and by a bet with Pickering that he can make Eliza pass as a lady in high society.
How does Eliza change during the play?
Eliza changes in speech, manners and confidence. She transforms from a poor, uneducated girl into a confident woman who can speak like a lady.
What is Alfred Doolittle's profession?
Eliza's father, Alfred Doolittle, is a dustman, a garbage collector.
How does Alfred Doolittle surprise Higgins?
He surprises Higgins by asking for money for allowing Eliza to stay with him, showing his humorous and practical attitude toward life.
How does Alfred Doolittle become rich?
Through a misunderstanding, an American millionaire leaves him a large yearly income, making him part of the middle class.
What is the main theme of Pygmalion?
The main theme is social class and transformation, how language, education and manners can change one's social identity.
What is Shaw's view on class distinction?
Shaw criticizes the rigid class system of British society, showing how it is based more on speech and manners than on true worth.
How is Eliza treated by Higgins?
Higgins treats Eliza as an experiment or object, not as a human being. He often behaves rudely and without empathy.
How does Pickering treat Eliza differently from Higgins?
Pickering treats Eliza with respect, kindness and politeness, which helps her develop self-respect.
What is the significance of speech in the play?
Speech symbolizes social identity and power. In Shaw's view, the way people speak affects how society judges them.
How long does it take for Eliza to learn proper English?
It takes about 6 months for Eliza to speak and behave like a lady.
How long does it take for Eliza to learn proper English? What happens at the ambassador's garden party?
Eliza successfully passes as a duchess, and no one realizes she was once a flower girl, proving Higgins's experiment a success.
What problem arises after Eliza's transformation?
After her transformation, Eliza feels lost and directionless. She no longer fits in either the poor world or the upper class.
What does Eliza throw at Higgins in anger?
She throws his slippers at him, expressing her frustration and desire for independence.
How does Eliza assert her independence?
Eliza decides to leave Higgins and make her own decisions, showing that she is no longer dependent on him.
Who is Mrs. Higgins?
Mrs. Higgins is Henry Higgins's mother, a wise and kind lady who disapproves of her son's rude behavior.
How does Mrs. Higgins view the experiment?
Mrs. Higgins thinks the experiment is foolish and cruel as it plays with a young woman's life.
What does Eliza plan to do at the end of the play?
Eliza plans to marry Freddie Ainsford Hill and start a small business, such as teaching phonetics.
Who is Freddie Ainsford Hill?
Freddie is a young gentleman who falls in love with Eliza after she becomes a refined lady.
How does Shaw describe Higgins' character?
Shaw presents Higgins as brilliant but inconsiderate, intelligent but immature, and often emotionally insensitive.
What social message does Shaw give through Eliza's transformation?
Shaw shows that education and opportunity, not birth, determine a person's social class and dignity.
What literary genre is Pygmalion?
Pygmalion is a comedy and a social satire.
What myth inspired Pygmalion?
The play was inspired by the Greek myth of Pygmalion and Galatea, where a sculptor falls in love with a statue that comes to life.
What is the tone of the play?
The tone is humorous, satirical, and thought-provoking.
What does Eliza gain from her experience?
Eliza gains education, confidence, independence, and self-respect.
Why doesn't Shaw let Higgins and Eliza marry at the end?
Shaw avoids a romantic ending to emphasize Eliza's independence and to show that the story is about social transformation, not love.
What does Higgins mean by calling himself a confirmed bachelor?
He means that he does not believe in marriage and prefers to live alone, focused on his work.
What role does humour play in Pygmalion?
Humor makes the social criticism entertaining and accessible, while exposing the absurdities of class and language prejudice.
What lesson does Eliza learn about society?
She learns that good manners and speech can open doors, but real respect comes from self-worth and dignity.
How does Eliza's father change after becoming rich?
Alfred Doolittle becomes unhappy with his wealth because it forces him to follow middle-class morals and responsibilities.
What does Shaw criticize through the character of Doolittle?
Shaw criticizes social hypocrisy, the difference between the poor's honesty and the middle class's false morality.
What is the climax of the play?
The climax occurs when Eliza successfully passes the test at the ambassador's party, proving Higgins's theory.
How does Eliza feel after the experiment's success?
She feels used, unappreciated, and confused about her place in society.
What is the setting of the play?
The play is set in London, mainly in Covent Garden and Higgins's laboratory and home.
How does Shaw use language as a symbol?
Shaw uses language as a symbol of social mobility. It becomes a tool to climb the social ladder.
What is the moral of Pygmalion?
The moral is that true worth lies in character and intelligence, not in appearance, wealth, or accent.
What does the play say about women's independence?
Shaw promotes women's independence and self-respect through Eliza's refusal to depend on Higgins or any man.
What is the main conflict in the play?
The main conflict is between Eliza's desire for independence and Higgins's controlling attitude toward her transformation.
Why is Pygmalion still relevant today?
It remains relevant because it deals with education, class, gender equality, and self-identity, issues still important in modern society.
And that's it, 50 important questions and answers on Pygmalion by George Bernard Shaw. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Essay Academy for more literature lessons. See you in the next video.